Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hey Guys. Alright, so we're going to work on some assemblies today. So I've got a preloaded assembly and I'm going to show you how to add a part to that assembly. So I'm going to go to Open, and the first thing, most important, is find that appropriate place where that file is. And mine is in my documents, and it is called Automata Simulation 3. Oh, double click. All right, so the file you want to open is the one that has the icon for an automata or for an inventor assembly file, right? So you see that over here in the back. That's a part file, DWG. That's a presentation file, and that is an assembly file. So that's the one we want. We're going to click on that, click OK. All right, wait for it to load up. It's got some things to think about. All right, so it says that some of my parts have been modified. We're going to go ahead and say yes. All right, so there's my assembly file. You can see that you can kind of grab and play with some of the moving parts. The follower moves up and down. And we're going to go ahead and place in a cam that we already have pre-made, and mine's called Hex Cam Test. So I'm going to open that up. Oh, I'm in the wrong place again. I need to be in that folder with the automata simulation. Everybody makes mistakes. And there it is. All right, so make sure you're always opening your files from the right place. Don't get hasty like I was. All right, so when it brings it in, it's coming in parallel to the axis that I want to put it on. And I want to give Inventor a little bit of help, give it a little bit of my intention. Remember, that's how Inventor works, it's design intent. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to rotate it around around the y-axis 90 degrees. All right, so I have to click once, left click, and then I'm going to pull away, and you can see that I could add another one. I can add as many as I want, but I only want the one, so I'm going to right click now and say OK. Make sure you do that left click first. All right, so you can see that I have my cam here. It's got my two different work planes and my axis. If I open that up over here, you can see that we have the origin, we have the work axis, and the two different work planes. One that is already labeled angle of rotation. Yours might just say work plane 2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start constraining this to different, to make it match up with other parts of my assembly here. That's how these things work. All right, so when I open it up, the default setting is going to be a mate setting. That's exactly what I want. And I'm going to grab this work plane. Remember, when you're grabbing work planes, you want to grab them from, the shown edge. That way you grab the right spot and you don't accidentally grab like the front face of that cam or something like that. So I come up here and I grab that. And don't worry where that ends up, because all that's done is that's aligned that center of that cam with the center plane on the follower. All right, so it's already got applied check, so I can keep that window open while I continue to add my constraints. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put that cam down on that axle. So I'm going to click on that axis and I'm going to click on this axis, and now that cam is down and it's on that axis. So it's constrained, so it can only be in one point on the axis, and now it's on the axis. All right, but you'll notice, let me click apply. I can turn the handle and the cam doesn't move. So I want to make that cam move with the handle. So I'm going to add another constraint. I'm going to constrain it from this angle of rotation work plane, or yours will be work plane 2. I can come over here to my browser, and I suggest that you probably do that and just click on that plane there. And then we're going to click on, I guess I had already clicked on that plane there, so we're going to just go ahead and apply. And let me back that up. Make sure that that was done right. Make sure you see what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm still in a mate constraint. First thing I'm going to do is grab that plane on the cam, and then I'm going to grab this plane on the handle, and I'm going to apply. And so now when I turn the handle, that cam moves with the entire axle. All right, so for my next, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that out just for right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my cam a little bit, and I'm going to come over here to the box, and I'm going to right click on the box. I'm going to slide down here, and you see I have visibility on the box checked. I'm going to uncheck that, and that's going to make that go away. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to go to the axle handle, and if I scroll around on here, this work plane right here, when I scroll on the browser, lights that up. I want to turn off the visibility of that because that thing's just going to be in my way. And that looks a lot cleaner right now. All right, so I want to make it so that the follower follows the edge of that cam. So I'm going to come up here to constraint. This time I'm going to use a transitional constraint. I'm going to change my view, and you can do this while you have the tool. Don't worry. And the important thing is to select this curved plane on the bottom of the follower first. And then I want to make sure that I'm selecting this edge, not that plane. I probably should have turned that plane off when I was turning off other visibilities on the side, but looks like I got it. And what that's going to do, that's going to constrain the bottom of that follower to this contiguous edge all the way around. That means it goes all the way around. All right, so I'm going to hit apply, and then I like to just go ahead because I think it's fun. I like to test it out, make sure it works, looks good. All right, one more constraint for this project. I'm going to go to constrain. This time I'm going to select an angle constraint, and it's going to be a directed angle, which means that I'm going to tell it what angle I want it to be. And then I'm going to go over here to the follower, and I'm going to open up the origin folder on the follower. That's this part right here. And what I want is I want this XZ plane. So I want the plane that's going to be going this direction through the center of the follower, right? And what I'm going to constrain to that plane is this middle work plane. Now I could also grab it, just like we did before, from the browser, and you see what that does is that locks those two together. And I'm going to click apply. Now I think it's best practice is to close that out real quick. We're going to go over here to the right view, and I'm going to just check it. I'm just going to make sure that it's doing what I wanted it to do. So now I'm going to slide all the way down. At the bottom of your cam is where you put that last constraint. So we're going to click on that angle constraint. We're going to go to edit. And then I'm going to change this angle. I'm going to change it to 30. And you can see that even before I click OK, it rotates around 30 degrees. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now, while we're in this view, we want to add a ruler. So I'm going to go to Place. Make sure I'm in my automata simulation where I was before. Slide down to Ruler. Open the ruler. Now the ruler comes in again, it's turned the wrong way, so I'm going to rotate it around the Y 90 degrees. And then I want to place it so that the bottom of the ruler, as best as I can, is lined up with that center of that axis right there. So just like before, it's going to let me put as many rulers in there as I want. That's all I want. Now if you didn't get the ruler placed the way you want, all you have to do is go to the ruler and right click on it, and you can do free move or free rotate, whichever you need. I will tell you that that allows you to move it 100% free in space. It doesn't move it just one direction or the other. It's really best to try to get it lined up the right way the first time. All right, but if you don't, you can always free move or free rotate. All right, so two more things I need to turn on. I need to turn on the visibility of the top of the follower and the visibility of the bottom of the follower. You're going to see why that's important with the bottom. So what that does is that puts a line across that helps me read my ruler. All right, now all I need to do to finish this assignment is go back over to that angle constraint on the hex cam, edit it, and if you zoom out just right, where you can kind of see both measurements. You don't have to keep clicking OK. You can start off with 0, and that's going to rotate it back. You read it, and then you can highlight this again, click in, type in 30. It's going to rotate it, keep going back and forth, 30, 60, 90, all the way around. All right, I hope this helped you get through this assignment, and thanks for tuning in to Hey Guys.